For the first time in nearly 40 years, an opportunity arose for the former Atlanta and West Point 290 to return to her home rails to Montgomery, Alabama. Thanks to the cooperation of the Norfolk Southern and CSX, the Atlanta chapter of the NRHS and the New Georgia Railroad were able to schedule the trip on Friday, August 21, 1992. Passengers board at Zero Milepost in downtown Atlanta at the Old Georgia Freight Depot, located between Cortlandt Street and Central Avenue. At 9 a.m., with worsening rain and fog conditions, the 290 is eased out of the Zero Milepost station. The train is departing from the station's dead track. The entire consist will pull forward onto the North Main and will then need to back through the crossovers to the South Main, proceeding approximately 1 mile through where the old Union Station was located over to the Norfolk Southern interchange by Ivan Allen Jr. Boulevard. From here, the train will proceed south to College Park, where the 290 will finally be back on A&WP rails. Coupled behind the 290 is the New Georgia's former Southern FP7 number 3498. This is needed for insurance in case the 290 encounters any issues while en route, and also to help assist the 290 when climbing the various grades along the way. A number of short trips are scheduled the next day out of Montgomery, and since there will be no place to turn the train, the 3498 will be placed on the rear of the train to power the return trips. At the throttle for today's trip is former Seaboard Assistant Superintendent and current head of the New Georgia Railroad, Mr. Wallace Haywood. Sharing the fireman duties is Conrad Cheney, Foster Peterson, Bill Dennington, and Bill McGee. Now on Norfolk Southern trackage, the train proceeds south past the World Congress Center executive offices. At College Park, the 290 leaves Norfolk Southern trackage and heads west on former A&WP rails. At Palmetto, the dispatcher has lined up a meet with the CSX freight. Arriving at Newnan, hundreds of townsfolk have come out despite the rain to witness the arrival of the 290. Here, more passengers will board for the remaining portion to Montgomery. Just down the line from here, the 290 was filmed for scenes in the movie Fried Green Tomatoes, which she had a starring role in. Following a servicing stop in LaGrange, the 290 is once again underway climbing the grade heading for the Alabama state line. At West Point, Georgia, the 290 crosses the Chattahoochee River. Just across the bridge is the Alabama-Georgia state line. This is also where the Atlanta and West Point changed over to the Western Railway of Alabama, both part of the Georgia Railroad and Banking Company. In her heyday, it was not uncommon for the 290 to bring the Southern Railway's Crescent train here from Atlanta and hand it over to sister engine number 190 for the remaining portion to Montgomery. Another CSX freight waits on the main at Cusseta for a meet with the 290. At Opelika, the 290 has stopped for servicing and refueling. The new Georgia has its own refueling truck with a clamshell unloader for ease of adding coal to the engine's tender. This particular tender is not the original one delivered with the 290. When the restoration work began in 1986, it was discovered that the original tender was in very poor condition. A newer welded tank was created and modified and designed to increase the capacity from 15 tons to up to 20 tons of coal. Consequently, the water capacity decreased from 11,000 gallons down to 9,500 gallons. The addition of the former Southern Auxiliary tender, WT-52, originally from a 482 mountain-type locomotive, provides an additional 13,500 gallons of water. A good majority of the residents of Notasulga have turned out to see the 290 blast through town today. Running several hours late, Mr. Haywood has the 290 really moving as she flies across the flat Alabama countryside. With only 15 miles to go, the train makes track speed of 60 miles per hour through shorter Alabama. Arriving in Montgomery after dark, the 290 is greeted by a large crowd as she completes her historic trip on her home rails. The engine performed flawlessly, and thousands were present trackside throughout the day to see the train roll by. Upon discharging her passengers, the 290 will be serviced and the crew will get a much-needed rest for the multiple trips scheduled tomorrow. With this, we conclude our coverage of the 290's return to Montgomery. The New Georgia Railroad and its dedicated employees are to be commended for their tireless hours of dedication in preserving and operating this beautiful piece of railroading history. K&L Trainz would like to personally thank Conrad Cheney for his detailed recollection and assistance with the creation of this video presentation. We would also like to thank Mark Cole, Bill Dennington, Logan Johnson, Ethan Benson, and the numerous Trainz groups and railroad organizations who helped contribute to the completion of this project. For more information on the Atlanta and West Point 290 and other models available for Trainz Simulator, visit K&L Trainz online at www.kltrainz.com. If you've enjoyed this video, show your support by subscribing below and hit that notification bell to be alerted when a new video is uploaded. You can also follow along at K&L Trainz Facebook page and see progress of the latest projects being worked on. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.